Hello everyone. So the last video that I made on this channel was me trying on things that I bought off of SHEIN, and it has been 6 months. Actually, no, I think it's been more than 6 months, and I thought it would be great to make a video talking about the lessons that I learned from buying things off of SHEIN, because I learned a lot of lessons. Probably the most obvious lesson that I learned is that materials actually matter. When I first got the stuff off of SHEIN, it seemed like pretty decent quality, but I've had these pieces for almost a year now. Well, maybe not quite a year, but like over 6 months. And I can say that the quality is horrible. Even though I genuinely love the style of all of them, because I wear them so much and they're like really easy to layer, they have worn down like really fast. Like, let me get an example. In the last video, I talked about how excited I was to finally get a grandpa sweater like this one, which I have worn at least once a week for the past 6 months. Like, ever since this came out of the box, I've worn this consistently. It's kind of slowly falling apart. Like, it's gotten stretched out like a lot. Like, it feels like it's way bigger than it was when I got it, and the material just like continues to stretch. When I got it, it didn't feel quite this thin, but it feels really thin and just like fragile, I guess. Like, I feel like if it accidentally got poked with like a pencil and it got a little hole in it, it would just become a giant hole and the whole thing would just fall apart. So let's compare this sweater to the sweater that I'm currently wearing, which I have had for at least a year. I've had it longer than the other one, the one that I got off of SHEIN. And you can see here, it's very thick. The construction of this, look at how thick this is. This is so thick. It's held up its shape so well. And it feels like it's not going to fall apart. Like, it's very sturdy. This is a sweater that I thrifted about like 6 years ago. I don't know how old it was when I thrifted it, but this is what it looks like. Yeah, it looks a little old, but it doesn't feel like it's about to fall apart. It doesn't feel like if you poked it, it would all just crumble into dust. I found that this sweater that I'm wearing and this sweater here are both mostly made of cotton. And this one doesn't actually say what it's made of, but judging from another sweater that I have, I think I have a good idea of what the material is. This sweater, which I absolutely love so much, I also thrifted this, and I've had it for probably like 3 or 4 years, so it's looking a little worn down. It looks a lot like the SHEIN one in terms of how the materials are holding up, and it happens to be made from 92% recycled polyester. I mean, at least that's recycled, right? But I think that just goes to show that polyester does not hold up very well. I went through all of my sweaters and I compared them, what they were made out of, and it turns out that all of my sweaters that look really good and have stood the test of time, things that I like thrifted years ago and still look good, are made of mostly cotton. And everything that's falling apart right now is made of mostly polyester. So this is such an obvious lesson. Like, I should have known this. Everyone knows this. Anyone who's like even kind of sort of into fashion knows this, that materials matter. Like, what your clothes are made out of is like the perfect indicator of how well it's going to hold up over time. From this SHEIN purchase, I have determined to always look at what a piece is made from before I buy it. Lesson 2. The clothes are not fun to take care of. As I said, a lot of the things that I kept from my SHEIN order, I wear like all the time. They are clothing staples. That's why I bought them, because I was like, okay, well, these are basic things that I'm going to wear a lot, so I'll definitely get my money out of them because I'll be wearing them a lot. But it's kind of silly because buying the most basic and layerable pieces that I plan on wearing so many times from SHEIN was such a bad idea, because as we just talked about, the materials that they're made out of don't last. I knew that SHEIN was notorious for bad quality, but I kind of was just like, hey, it's cheap, I can afford it, I can't find the things that I really, really want, so this is my only choice. And I'm noticing that I have to take very good care of all the stuff that I got from SHEIN as if it's like my most prized possession. If I don't take care of this stuff, it's just gonna fall apart. And I have to be careful when I wear it so it doesn't snag on anything, because if it's snagged on something, it would probably just fall apart. And I'm afraid of washing this stuff because if I wash it, it'll probably just fall apart. It's just crazy. Like, I have to routinely get some little scissors, kid scissors, so that they don't like actually cut my sweater, and I have to go in and like cut off all the like pilling on it so that it still looks like a sweater and not like just a giant ball of fuzz. I have to cut loose threads off of the shirt that I got and the jeans that I got all the time. So basically what I learned is when you buy a piece of clothing from fast fashion and it's something that you wear all the time, you're going to have to care for it as if it's your most prized possession. There's something you have to constantly care for, or else they're just gonna fall apart and finally show their true colors, the really, really tacky clothes that they actually are. Lesson 3. I still want the real thing. I think pretty much all of the clothes that I bought off of SHEIN were a dupe of something that I really wanted because I couldn't find that specific item in a store near me. I couldn't find it at the thrift store in my size, or it was just like way too expensive and I could not spend that much money on the piece. And those are things that I still want. I think the best example of this is the leather jacket that I got. I love leather jackets. I think they make such nice layering pieces, and I think that they can look really elevated or edgy, like depending on the way that you style it. I think that leather jackets are really timeless and are like a really good piece to have in your wardrobe. The SHEIN dupe that I have, it's cute, kind of, but it's hardly convincing. Like, if you touched it and you felt the material, you would just suddenly realize that it is not a leather jacket at all. To be honest, it feels like I'm wearing a trash bag like every time I wear it. Like, it doesn't make me feel good when I wear it because it's really thin, and I know that it was really cheap and it feels cheap, and so I just feel like I'm wearing a trash bag whenever I wear it. And it really hardly fills the void of the genuine, authentic, actually cool leather jacket that I wanted and that I still want. So now I'm left with pieces that aren't really the thing that I wanted, but they still take up space in my closet, and honestly, they kind of like serve as a visual reminder that I still don't have the thing that I really want. And I'm now realizing that if I would have just saved up like a lot of money for the genuine real thing that I wanted, it would have been a better investment because it wouldn't be falling apart like all the stuff that I have now. And as someone who really doesn't have like much money at all, it really does matter where my money goes, and I don't want to be spending my money on something that is just gonna fall apart in like 6 months. Whereas if I were to spend my money on something more expensive and it held up for years and years, that's like a way better use of my money. So that's a lesson that I learned. My cat decided that she wants to be part of the video. May. Why are you doing that? This is my cat. Say hello. Lesson 4. Aesthetics have style, but no soul. Okay, so I know this sounds like really silly. Like, I know. I couldn't really think of another way to word it. I'm sure there's like a gazillion other ways I could have worded it, but this is all I could think of. When I first set off to buy things off of SHEIN, I was going for a certain aesthetic. How do you say that? Do you say like aesthetic? I don't know. However you say it. I was trying to kind of copy this downtown girl aesthetic, which is like kind of like a lived-in vintage sort of look that really romanticizes like autumn and life in the city and things like going to record stores and cute cafes and thrifting things and playing music, and I just felt like I kind of fit those values. So I went on Pinterest and I was like, downtown girl aesthetic essentials, and there were tons of lists of like the specific clothing items that downtown girls wear. So I bought the clothes that Pinterest said I needed to buy to fit the downtown girl aesthetic. And now I just think that's so silly because I was becoming a downtown girl clone buying the clothes from SHEIN that downtown girls are supposed to wear, even though the look of a downtown girl is supposed to be something that's thrifted and like original and unique. The pieces from SHEIN are meant to look like something that is old and well worn and lived in and loved, but instead of having a story like things that are actually genuinely thrifted and authentic, they're just like a soulless creation that was made using unethical processes super fast. I feel like that just defeats the whole purpose of the aesthetic in the first place. What's even worse is that these pieces of clothing from SHEIN are like made to not last very long. They're made so cheaply that someone can only wear them a few times before they just have to get rid of them because they've fallen apart. So all of these just soulless, sad pieces of clothing end up in landfills, and that's just really depressing and not cool. And that quite easily brings me to the fifth lesson that I learned, and that is that overconsumption is the enemy of personal style. When I was a kid, I got clothes a lot because I actually needed them. Every new season, I would get new clothes for the season because the ones that I had from the year before didn't fit me anymore. And I feel like I've kind of carried those buying habits into the age that I am now, even though I've been the same size for like several years. And that is a problem. Like, I still feel like I need to buy new clothes every single season because I need to stay cool and like up to date with stuff. And I feel like it's not just the case for me. I feel like pretty much almost everyone in my generation has this problem because we see these people on social media with their like giant hauls of all the clothes that they just got for the new season, or like the new essentials that we need for 2026, every single season of 2026. And then there's like trends and micro trends, and it's just this overconsumption is encouraged everywhere we go. And it's like so exhausting to keep up with. It's honestly like really sickening if you think about it for like more than like 10 seconds. Like, just think about all this stuff that we're buying and then maybe using a little bit and then just getting rid of like months later. And I just feel like that's so damaging to personal style, because personal style is something that you kind of create over years of trial and error with the things that you have. And like, everyone wants a closet full of clothes that they feel good in and they genuinely love. And you're just not going to get that if you're buying fast fashion, because these trends are coming and going so fast, and the pieces aren't meant to last. So they're not meant to become a staple part of your wardrobe. And you don't have them long enough to really know whether or not you like them and whether or not there's something that you love and that you feel good in. Taking time to find the clothes that you genuinely like and that are like really you and your style and that you feel good in is like, it's a process that is completely opposed to fast fashion. The clothing pieces that I have that truly feel like my style are things that I collected over time, or like are things that I wanted for a really long time and then finally got, and they feel like me, and they feel like part of my personality, like a reflection of my personality on the outside, like a wearable personality. And I've noticed that on inspo pictures on Pinterest, like of the outfits that I like, the outfit looks like it has a personality, and the person wearing it looks like they really feel good in the clothes that they have. And these clothes are like unique and interesting. And you can tell when someone has their personal style because these pieces that they're wearing are well loved and they're like actually utilized, and there's like soul in that, there's intention behind that, and that's just so cool. And that brings me to the last lesson, or kind of just like the conclusion of everything. I learned from my SHEIN, I don't know if that's how you say it, my SHEIN experience, that fast fashion is not cool to me. Because I love fashion and I believe that my clothes are like an outward expression of my personality and the things that I value, fast fashion is not cool because fast fashion isn't something that aligns with the things that I value. I want a style that's timeless and quirky and feels like me. It's like unique to who I am. And I don't want my style to be governed by what Pinterest thinks I should wear or like what the summer 2026 essentials are for this year. I want my clothes to be a reflection of who I am, and I want my money to be spent on things that I actually care about and that I will like and enjoy and actually use for like years to come. So I think just in conclusion, fast fashion is not cool. And it's not me, and I will not be buying fast fashion in the future. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I know it was like really long and I'm not very good at explaining stuff. The ideas are always like way better in my head and like every concept makes so much sense to me and then I like say it and I have to like retake the video like 50 times because I just didn't say what I really wanted to. But yeah. I hope you learned something from my lessons, and I know in the last video I made, I said that I thought it was kind of worth it to buy from SHEIN and that you should try it. I have changed. I actually would really recommend that you do not buy off of SHEIN, but I am also kind of glad that I did buy stuff from there because I was able to learn these lessons, and I think it's gonna make me a better, like, wiser consumer in the future, and I'll definitely think more when I'm buying clothes. Please comment anything that you think I've left out because there were a lot of things that I just didn't really get to and didn't really talk about, and I'm sure there's things that I didn't even think of. Also, like, if you have any ideas for fashion videos that you'd like me to make, I would love to make them because I'm hoping to make more fashion related content on this channel because I definitely really do love fashion, and I think that I have maybe some knowledge that I could share, and probably in a more effective way than this sort of video. Yeah, if you'd like to see me try to style like different aesthetics using stuff I have in my closet or just like inspo or anything really fashion related, definitely tell me because I would love to make videos about that. So anyway, bye!